want to shake the table.
I love shaking the table. What are we doing? Hey, hold on, man.
What is going on here, man? What's going on? Hey, welcome to Fantasy Rush, everybody. I'm Steve.
And I'm Mike. Welcome. Sorry we missed last week. I had a impromptu bye week. I came down with the flu, still fighting it a little bit, but definitely.
That's what he says, but I just thought I'm just saying he wanted to take a day off. Or 2 or 3. I don't even know. How many days did you miss? Like, was it 2 weeks? I can't remember.
Yeah. Still feeling it, but back.
Still hearing it every day.
We had a lot of great input from you guys on Twitter the last few weeks, hitting us up before the Sunday morning games, Sunday afternoon games, getting some last minute advice for your teams, for your roster, pickups, trades, all that stuff. So thank you guys. Keep it coming. We'd love to hear from you guys, not just 30 minutes before game time, but shoot us some tweets. Give us
throughout the week.
Give some shout-outs to some of your friends. Talk some smack here on the show.
Yeah.
Bring it. We'll air it. Call out your buddies.
We'll give you our thoughts, and you get to call out your buddies on our show.
Yep. So this last week in garbage time, deep into garbage time, what I think is a huge hit for the Houston Texans. However that might be, because they weren't that promising anyways. But still, they lost Arian Foster, who was
2 players that all you cared about. That's all you cared about in the Texans. 2 players. DeAndre Hopkins and Arian Foster. And Arian Foster tore his Achilles. He's out for the year. That really hurts because he's a stud. I mean, most people took him 5th, 6th round.
I had him in 2 leagues, and I was banking for the late, playoff run. I took 2 early wide receivers, took Arian Foster in the 5th or 6th round.
Yeah,
kind of let my running back slip.
Taxi.
But
so that's terrible news.
But
that's fantasy.
Horrid.
I mean,
horrid.
Every year there's superstars that go down.
Yeah, but you don't want to see superstars go down in garbage time. Like, they were getting destroyed.
Well, I think this year it's been the most players so far that I can remember
for soft tissue, non-contact. Yeah. I mean, he just was making a little cut and went down again. Another player like that.
And he already had 24 fantasy points. So us fantasy owners, we're like, all right, take him out.
I'm good.
We're good. We got enough points for him. So, now we have to think about how we're going to replace him. I mean, just like Jamal Charles that we talked about a few weeks ago, you cannot replace a talent like Arian Foster. I mean, the Texans, they tried. I think Grimes that had? No, Alfred Blue had 1 decent game, 100 and something yards. But other than that, I mean, they're not very good behind Arian Foster. So you're going to try to look for Alfred Blue. You're going to try to,
I like Chris Polk.
He likes Chris Polk. I honestly don't like any of them. I mean,
well, I am too. I said I liked Charkandrick West a few weeks ago, and he was behind Niles Davis. You were touting Niles Davis. And they just announced Kansas City that Charkandrick West is going to be taking over lead back duties, especially after this last
he was the starter. He's been the starter for 3 weeks.
I know, and I like him.
So he's had 1 really bad week, 1 really good week. It's inconsistency. That's my whole thing. None of them are going to replace the top guys. So
they're not going to get you 30 points a game.
I don't like any of the 3 guys in Houston. But if you're going to get one, I guess, I don't know, you're going to have to wait, I guess. It's going to be a committee. So let's just kind of wait out a few weeks. But those are the 3 guys you're going to look at. You're going to look at Alfred Blue. You're going to look at Jonathan Grimes, and you're going to look at Chris Polk.
Yeah.
One of those guys are going to emerge in the next few weeks. So whoever's available to kind of take a shot, listen to the reports from Houston, take a shot on who's going to actually take the lead back if you don't have viable replacements. If you have like Doug Martin and Matt Forte, with Arian Foster, which could very well possibly be, then maybe you don't need one of those guys. So
or one of the tactics that I like to take is, you had Arian Foster, you got to drop him. So that's one roster spot that's open.
Right.
If you're strong in another position, you got 2 kickers, let's say, or an extra defense or whatever.
Well, why would somebody have 2 kickers? First of all, I mean, unless it's a bye week. The only kicker I'm keeping over the bye week is McManus because he's the number 1 kicker overall. That's it.
Pick up 2. Pick up Blue and Polk.
Yeah.
And then, whichever one emerges as the lead back, you're sitting pretty. Drop the other one, pick up somebody else. But, I mean, this is going to be the waiver wire shakeup, especially when a big injury like this happens and they're looking for their next breakout lead back.
Well, speaking of the waiver wire, actually, I have a player in the waiver wire we're about to talk about that I like better than all three of those guys.
No.
But I'm going to let you start out with...
Man, my boy, Theo Riddick is still
man.
there. And in PPR leagues, he is still putting up like 10 points a game consistently. And it's amazing for a third string back. And even this past week, you had Joeik Bell back, Mir Abdullah, and Theo Riddick.
But you have to remember, Theo Riddick was the guy last year when Reggie Bush was there still. And Joeik Bell was doing well.
Well, Detroit really likes Theo Riddick. And
well, they really like Amir Abdullah, but he just keeps fumbling. He can't hold on to the damn ball.
But with the big offensive coaching staff shakeup that happened this week in Detroit, look for the next offensive coordinator to start airing it out old school Detroit style.
Good point.
Because right now, Detroit is pretty much dead last in every offensive category because they're not playing their regular offensive scheme. And this guy, who I love his name, do you know who it is? You're going to laugh. You're going to think that I'm lying to you when I tell you the offensive coordinator's name.
Man, we're still talking about the Lions?
Jim Bob Cooter. Jim Bob Cooter.
Just a Lions fan. We're talking about Theo Riddick. He's going to go off on all the Lions thing again.
Jim Bob Cooter is taking over, and he knows... and he knows that they need to get back to that old style.
It's not hard, Lions. Throw it up to Calvin Johnson and let him catch it.
And if he's not open,
it's not very hard.
Hit Golden Tate on a little slant and let him take it 65 yards.
Or toss it over to Theo Riddick in the flats.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basic, man. Their defense is not very good.
Yeah.
After Sue left, I'm sorry, but it's not very good.
Well, because they're always on the field. The offense is going 3 and out constantly.
Man.
Okay.
So,
all right. Enough
about the Lions. This guy's gonna go on forever.
I could do a show on the Lions. If you guys want to do a show on the Lions,
nobody wants to do a show on the Lions. So Theo Riddick is definitely a waiver wire ad. If he's not already picked up in your league, David Carr. I was gonna say Derek Carr's brother.
Yeah.
David Carr.
I love David Carr still. He is doing great. He's overlooked in a lot of leagues. He's on the waiver wire all over the place. If he's there,
I'm still not sold that he's a true number one.
He's not a true number one, but
with all the buys,
as we get into the heavy
weeks,
buys, this is going to be the time to pick up somebody. And David Carr, Ryan Tannehill, if he's still around.
Mm-hmm. I really like Ryan Tannehill.
I like these guys,
but David Carr with Amari Cooper, speaking about studs and just throwing it up there, I mean, Amari Cooper was amazing this past weekend. So David Carr is definitely a great ad if you need a quarterback. If your quarterback's on a bye, like I just had Aaron Rodgers on a bye, David Carr wasn't available, and so I picked up another quarterback that we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
But the replacement that I like, if you're looking at a replacement for Arian Foster, the best one that I like that's going to most likely be available in your waivers is David Cobb. Another David Cobb, because he's coming back from an injury. He was going to be the starter going into the season. He's a rookie, and I think he's going to be slated to come back week 9. So get him now because he's not going to be available after that. He was great in the preseason, and I really think he's going to be that running back down the stretch that's going to give you some points. That offense is it's very up and down. Mariota's hurt right now, but I like David Cobb, maybe starting week 10. After he comes back week 9, give him a week to kind of get acclimated.
Just in time for the
playoffs. So he's a sneaky ad. So, and he's not a running back 1. He's not replacing Arian Foster.
No.
He's like a running back 3, flex maybe.
Flexy.
Possible upside as an RB2 if they feed him the ball, if they don't fall behind too much.
Guy that I picked up after the second week just because I loved his I heard an interview that one of the radio stations did with this guy, and I fell in love with his work ethic, and I went out.
I really think he picked him up because I told him I played him in DFS a couple weeks ago. But hey, you know what?
But I had him.
The interview, that's why you got him.
He had 2 breakout games. I picked him up after the first one because I heard the interview. He had another one, and then another one. Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs is a great ad. I mean, he's a rookie, but he's taken over as the lead receiver there. I mean, I also had him in one of my leagues where I had like everybody on bye. But he did great. I mean, he had 100 yards, a touchdown. So that's 2 straight weeks that he's done great.
Well,
so.
and I know it's a little bit late because we missed last week to be mentioning him, but he was somebody that we wanted to mention last week. But definitely, if he's still available, lock him down now. Another guy that is starting to emerge, they're figuring out ways to feed him the ball, Tyler Lockett. He's having a great time in Seattle right now. They're giving him little end arounds.
Well, no, the great thing is he's a returner as well.
A returner.
So you get those bonus if he does return a kickoff, which I believe he did week 1 or week 2, early in the season. So that's another great ad. If you're hurting for a receiver, he's not a high volume guy because that offense is not a high volume offense.
But he's a high risk, high reward.
High risk, high reward. Exactly. That's a perfect.
He's going to maybe get 3 to 4, maybe 5 looks tops per game.
Yeah.
Lock down 3 of them. But if he breaks one of those and takes it, man, it's some big points for you.
He has a lot of talent. He's fast.
One of the guys that I like, especially with Arian Foster going out, is Nate Washington. Nate Washington is going to – Houston's going to start slinging the ball a lot more because they're not going to be able to rely on that 3 to 4 to 5 yards that Arian Foster was able to pick up for him. So, they're going to have to pick up big chunks of yards quickly. So Nate Washington, if he's still on your waiver wire, I think the last I looked, he was owned in only like 30% of leagues or even less.
Probably less.
So
he's been hurt this year a few games, but he had 16 targets. I mean, they were down 41-0 by halftime. Well, but he got 16 targets, more than DeAndre Hopkins.
He's got a revenge game this week coming up because they're playing Tennessee. So
nice. That's actually a very good point.
That could be some nice extra looks that he'll get.
And they're going to be throwing a ton.
Team. Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're just not a very good team this year. They're going to be throwing a lot. They're going to be behind on a lot of games. Their defense is horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, what a disappointment.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I love Ryan Fitzpatrick. I actually picked him up in 2 leagues because I had my quarterbacks on bye. Actually, one of them was hurt. I had another one on bye, which was our league. Mm-hmm. So I think he's great. I mean, if you look at his he's not going to get you, Tom Brady-esque 40-point games. He's not going to blow up, but I think his floor has been like 15 points this season, which is awesome.
He's just playing consistent football. He doesn't turn the ball over a whole lot. He tries to make good decisions. He's got a great running back that he can use to kind of change the pace of the
receivers, Eric Decker and Brandon Marshall.
He's doing a great job with the opportunity that was presented to him. Thanks to the linebacker in the preseason who cold clocked
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith is going to be in some trouble when he comes back. I don't think he's going to be getting his job back.
I think the coach already said that Ryan Fitzpatrick was going to keep his job.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to lose it to Geno Smith. And same thing as with David Carr. These are not high-end starters, but if you have guys on bye or if somebody's hurt, then that's somebody you definitely want to pick up.
Yep.
Another guy, Robert Woods.
Yep.
With all the problems, I think everybody is injured in Buffalo. I mean, their quarterback's injured. Their backup running back, Carlos Williams, is injured. LaShawn has spent some time on the injury list as well. Both their top receivers, Sammy Smith and Percy Harvin, are out. Sammy Smith may come back in a few weeks. I'm sorry, Sammy Watkins may come back in a few weeks. Percy Harvin,
they're talking retirement because of his hip issue. Which means Robert Woods is going to step up into the number 2 spot.
So he's definitely going to get he's going to get some targets. Another good ad.
So you're loving Deshaun Jackson.
I'm saying pick him up.
I'm not seeing
take a flyer on him. If you're going to pick up, if you have, I don't know, I've seen so many different rosters that have a bunch of players that you can drop, but Deshaun Jackson's, I mean, he was a top 10 receiver last year.
Yeah, but
pick him up. Don't play him, but pick him up. I mean, if you have a dead weight on your bench, I mean, pick him up. I think he's worth an ad. Yeah. So, you don't seem to like him, but I do. But in the first couple of shows,
but that's fantasy football, though. I mean, you're gonna be in love with a couple of guys, and
man,
some of those.
I ain't even talking about Deshaun Jackson anymore. I'm talking about in the first couple of shows. Man, this guy was talking so much. If you guys remember, I'm going to go undefeated. I'm the best player. Man, he was saying that.
No.
It was pretty much that vibe.
I'm too humble for that.
So, what happened over the last 4 weeks?
I lost a few games, but
he lost 3 in a row. Just want to make that on the record. He lost 3 in a row. He escaped this past week.
I didn't escape. I wasn't scared.
If
I'm scared, I go to church.
He escaped this past week. I know he was sweating a little bit. He was like, "Nah, I got it." But me, I mean, I've been tearing it up the last 3 weeks. I have 3 wins.
Yeah, but now
I'm only 1 win away from making the playoffs. It's okay.
You don't have that 30-point production
Look, I made
anymore.
some trades. I have Matt Forte and I have Todd Gurley as my running backs. I'm okay. Arian Foster was just icing on the cake.
Taxi!
So now, out across all my leagues, I am either in the top 4, most of them top 3, or I'm 1 game away from, or 1 game behind for a playoff spot. So no longer, I'm far from Owen. So you guys can remove that from your vocabulary.
Yeah.
It's when it's associated with Steve.
It's all right. It's just fun.
Oh, now it's fun. Now he wants to say it's fun.
See,
now he's like, it's not that big of a deal.
No, it's head games. That's the way you play football. Is you get inside your opponent's head.
So if you guys have, we want to know if you guys have anybody in your league that was talking. If you guys have a Mike in your league that was just talking so much in the beginning of the season, and now they're not doing so well, or maybe the crazy part is if Mike would have lost this past week, I would have jumped him. He would have been behind me in the standings because I have more points than him. We would have the same record.
But I'm not scared.
I know you're not scared.
I'm not scared.
He should be, though. He should be.
I got a couple.
Everybody in our league should be scared because I'm coming for them. So if you have anybody, we'd like to know if you guys just want to call somebody out in your league. Send us a tweet.
Yep.
Send us an email. Send
GIF.
us a GIF or a picture on Instagram or even on Twitter. Just to make it fun, get some thoughts on how you guys are doing in your leagues as well. If you guys have any questions regarding any of the waiver wire ads, maybe somebody we didn't mention, let us know. So, with that in mind, it's time for us to start the segment of
Start That Fool.
All right, Mr. Mike. So, Carlos Hyde at St. Louis.
Carlos Hyde at St. Louis. I think he's going to have a breakout game. He's going to get back on track. San Francisco is going to start rolling. Start that fool.
All right. Benjamin Watson against New York Giants.
I think with Drew Brees kind of getting back into his game a little bit, start that fool.
All right. Matthew Stafford. Man, you have to throw a line in there, huh? Matthew Stafford.
Like I said,
London.
Like I said earlier, the offensive coordinator, he's going to start calling those old school Detroit Lions plays. Look for him to get the ball to Calvin, start slinging it around, start that fool.
Well, they're playing the Chiefs, too, and they're terrible in pass defense, so I agree with them on that one. Steelers and Bengals.
You know what? I think it's going to be a shootout. Anybody that you got on either of those teams, start them. Big Ben's back. A.J. Green. Antonio Brown's going to come back up. Everybody.
Martavis Bryant.
Everybody.
All right.
Start them.
I have a lot of them. All right, I like that one. Demaryius Thomas.
Oof.
Against Green Bay.
In Denver against Green Bay. Green Bay, though, is rolling, and I think that they're going to give Peyton so many problems. Sit that fool.
Man, sit. Demaryius Thomas? All right. Devontae Freeman.
Against
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And you're giving me some smack about this. Sit that fool.
I
think Tampa Bay is going to have the answer for Devontae Freeman, and they're going to shut him down this week.
Okay, that's a surprise. Steve Smith Sr.
San Diego, they're really good at upsetting everything, and Steve Smith just hasn't had the production since his back issue. Sit that fool.
I don't know, man. Amari Cooper did pretty damn well against them this past week. But, all right, Mike says sit him. Lamar Miller, after that huge game, top scorer in the league.
But you know what? He wasn't playing Bellatrix, and he wasn't playing the New England defense. I think that New England is going to take and bring Miami back down to earth, so I say sit that fool.
Man, it's going to be hard for me to sit that guy, but all right. Mike says sit him. And I think that concludes it,
That's
man.
it.
So thanks for watching, guys. Fantasy Rush. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Fantasy Rush LATV.
We're here for you.
Send us your emails. Again, earlier we talked about that. Send us your emails, fantasyrush@latv.com. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yep.
You're already watching the LATV channel.
Click it.
Click it. Subscribe. Do it now. Watch the other videos. So until next time, see you guys. I'm Mike.
No, you're not. You're Steve.
Oh, yeah, I'm Steve. See ya.